Alright, next in line, naturally, we have X2. That's going to be less natural, actually, after this one, which...
2 does follow 1.
Well, the next game will be it. So it's cool. We had, just right out the gate, we're getting, like, kind of backstory and stuff. Or not backstory, but, like, actual plot going on. And I mean, this is kind of in the vein of Mega Man 2, which is like, super robot named Mega Man was made to, or like modified to stop Dr. Wily and everything. So it's kind of a nice callback that way if you want to think about it that way. I feel like there's a lot more actual narrative going on versus like, but then Dr. Wily came back, and it's comparable. I like the parallels that you can kind of draw between them.
Why was the first instance of Sigma in parentheses? It's like 6 months after the destruction of Sigma, but like in parentheses instead of quotation marks. It was weird.
I don't know.
And it wasn't in parentheses in any of the other instances. Also, subtitle. Hey, how's it going?
Right? So this one gets a subtitle, which was more of a Japan thing in the classic games. Not a lot, if any. Well, no, not a lot of the X games have that kind of thing. I don't know about the parentheses. That might just be like, here's a name. I wouldn't be surprised if that was just localization bullshit. Also, this one has a chip built into it, which just the worst, and didn't look it up before this. I didn't think I was going to mention it.
It's like CX64
it's
to 32
CX something for sure. But that's what adds the wireframe stuff. So that isn't Super FX. It's not Mode 7. It's something that was made pretty much exclusively for X2 and 3, and it does come back in 3, which you'll see then. Also coming up is everybody's favorite character. Look, it's Green Biker Dude. That's all you're going to see of him. There's no lore behind him at all.
Goodbye.
He's really popular, and I felt like I should mention him, but, I also like this a lot. The kind of introduction of... Or not an introduction, but, like a sub-variant of an enemy that you see later on.
I wish you could actually destroy their legs, like, in actual gameplay.
If there is a way to do that, I'm not sure what it is. But one cool thing about this stage that you might be noticing is there's like the persistent production line for these guys going on. So the whole thing here is like you're raiding a factory that's like, hey, we've tracked, like, I don't know if you were reading the subtitles there, but it's been 6 months since the destruction of Sigma, blah blah blah, and this is like where the last of the resistance is going on. So this is basically like
cleaning up.
Yeah, X has cornered the stuff from the previous game.
This intro stage is really fucking short.
I guess this one is just particularly short as far as intro stages go.
Like more in-depth than the last one was?
It's more in-depth and more detailed. It wouldn't surprise me if it was kind of just like, okay, well, here was the previous line. Because the intro stage in X1 is also really short. You just can't dash. So it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of carried through with that mentality and they're like, oh, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, but there's also a lot more verticality in this one.
Yeah, that is true.
Right, bye, giant doofy ball robot.
I love that thing. So, man, I won't mention it here. But that ball robot I'm going to kind of bring up later on.
Is there supposed to be an X running in that bubble that would be like semi-transparent and just not picked up by our capture? Cause
yes, I think so.
That ball...
that sucks.
That ball is really fucking empty. But
it is supposed to be X running in place. God damn it. I almost want to go in and superimpose it or something. But so these are the mysterious shadowy figures. Not super mysterious because they're getting named, but I guess you don't know which is which. One detail that I really like here that kind of gets showcased a little bit in this spot is that each one of them has a different text speed.
Yeah,
so it's kind of supposed to emulate their tone of voice in quotation marks or whatever. And it also kind of shows who the brains are and this kind of characterization, which I think is pretty cool for a Mega Man game just in general, because up until the Zero games or the later X games, it doesn't happen a whole lot.
Well, what are they building? They mentioned constructing something. Is it spoilers or Wily again?
They're talking about I'm actually not 100% sure on that one. It might just be battle body related.
But that doesn't come in until whatever.
Well, it does. See, I don't know. Jot down a note saying bring it up in the fortress stages again.
Alright.
We'll see where it goes. So this stage has a really cool mechanic that I go over pretty heavily in the parallel video to this one. So I won't go into super huge detail about
this
it.
rain kicks my ass, man.
I know, it's great. That is also in a parallel video, but that's later on. But this stage has some really cool mechanics behind it. The crystal balls, you can shoot them with the Speed Burner, Crystal Hunter, and Bubble Splash weapons, and it actually alters the weather. And the Crystal Hunter specifically will make it foggy, which isn't something that'll happen naturally. The sun and the rain that happened from the fire weapon and the bubble weapon, respectively, those happen naturally. The fog one never does. And the enemies all behave and spawn differently based on the weather. So if you come through for whatever reason later on, you can completely affect the enemy flow. It's really, really neat. It just sucks because it's like you don't need to do like it's so easy to get everything here, even if you're just kind of exploring your first time through. That it's like, well, okay. And it just kind of seems like a waste of a stage gimmick, especially when, like, Wire Sponge is really goofy in general, so it's like, God, that's, like, such a cool idea right out the gate, and it's just wasted.
Honestly, I think the background art is a real step up over X1.
Yeah, I can totally see
in general. Right? They still have, like, lots of varied backgrounds per stage, which is really nice, and it seems to really be setting the bar higher for quality.
Yeah, there's a couple stages in particular in this one that are just like, oh my god, like at the time. You mentioned it in X1, the whole vista at the very end of Armored Armadillo stage with like, the waterfalls and everything. It's like, that's fucking beautiful for, like, you know, when this came out. It's like, holy shit, especially if you're comparing it to, like, the previous Mega Man game was like Mega Man 6, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's like, okay, you know, this really pushed the NES pretty far, because that had some really good-looking levels. And 6 was a really awesome game as far as NES Mega Man was concerned. And then these came out, and it's like, oh my god, like, fuck everything. So,
detail!
It's like that waterfall vista is just in every stage of this game, basically, which is really, you're right, like, it's a great step up, for sure.
This dude just... God, he looks like a goofy cartoon character and not at all a killer robot Reploid.
I like the idea of the strike chain mechanic. Like, I think it's cool that he'll... I don't know if he already did it in this fight. I'm only half paying attention because of all the stuff we're talking about. But, like, he'll launch his strike chain into the wall and then, like, draw himself in really quick.
Yeah.
When he's electrified like this during that dance, although that doesn't translate well at all, all of his damage is doubled right now because he's electrified. So, as far as, like, first bosses go, you know, for the first ones to tackle in, like, your obvious order, he actually can get kind of scary if you don't know what to do, especially here, like, the easiest way for me to dodge this is to just get really close, because you'll have the one right on top of him and then kind of spaced out evenly, which I don't know if you'll be able to see or not, apparently.
I might go in and, like, manually add in lights right or something, because, like, if I do edit it right now for us, it's just black lightning. Black lightning.
So metal. But yeah, he does some pretty cool stuff considering how stupid and goofy he is. And I will not use this weapon for any reason. So
that's a straight up lie. You use it in the next stage.
Do I?
Yes.